Alright, so I am going to trim my cheater plate, we call easy plate or cheater plate. Before I do that, I would like to show you what is my drying system, because people talk about that their pieces there when they are making platter or plate, they tend to get easily to get the S crack or even warp. That is because if you are getting the S crack or getting the warp, is when you dry the whole piece is not even. Usually the rim dry faster, so if you want to dry it more evenly, because once the rim dry, it's kind of shrink, but the middle part is still soft and wet, so it's easy. The tension of glaze is easy to pull apart, so it's easy to get an S crack or even warp. So have to dry it evenly. And this is what I did last line. I came in around, I made this about like in the afternoon, and I came in about 11 o'clock. The whole piece is already dry. So the rim is already dry, but the middle part is still kind of damp. So I use a sponge to brush some water. And then I wanted it to dry a little bit slower. So I was using this cage to just cover it. The cage has holes in here, so the water vapor out slowly. Okay, so the whole piece is dry more evenly. Okay, so if you are interested, or we can make your own cage, or if you're interested, they are selling it online. If you type in Chinese clay art, they are selling it. Okay, it's a cage, drying cage. And once they've been dried, it's easy to separate from the bed. Okay, I was drying on the bed. And once dry, because it's a piece of slab, just place on top of it. So you don't need to wire it off. Okay, just wait till it gets dried and just pop up by itself. You can see the whole piece is very straight from the view and from the side view. You see that? It's very straight and even. Okay, and one other thing that people ask, how to prevent the slab from this kind of plate from warping. One trick is when you roll your slab, you have to switch side, okay, one direction, and then maybe flip over and do that. If you don't have a slab roller, okay, do that and you flip over. That way you compress it more evenly, okay. And also one other thing, in my previous couple years ago, I show people how to compress it. Okay, if you have a very thick foam, okay, I don't have it, that's why I didn't compress this time. But in the previous video, I have a very thick foam, and then I transfer the slab onto the foam, and then put a piece of very flat dry plywood, and just compressed. Okay, you can jump on it and then compress it, so that the tension is kind of distributed more evenly, so that your piece keep straight without warping. Okay, so that's how you treat if you want to make this kind of plate. Usually it warp, okay, tend to warp from the middle, so you have to treat it before you put it on the bed and try to lift from the edge. Okay, so that's the things that you want to know before you put it. And now, also I told you that I tend to actually I intended to trim the foot, so I made it a bit thicker. It's about 3/8 of an inch. Yeah, 3/8 of an inch. Three-eighths of an inch, so I have a little bit of a room. If you don't bother to trim, I show you in my yesterday's demonstration, you can roll it thinner, about 1/4 of an inch. That way you don't need to trim. Maybe just clean it up and that's it. Okay. But if you intended to trim, make a bottom, this part a little bit thicker, and then you still have some clay to trim. Alright, so let me do the trimming. Okay, I'll probably put my foot ring here. Okay, and then the middle part here, I will leave a little bit support here, so I will leave a little bit there. That way, the whole piece, the base is very wide, so it's easy to slump, so you need to have some kind of support. You can put 2 foot rings, okay? But I don't usually like to put 2 foot rings, so I put just a circle in the center so that to support it. Right, so that's the trimming of the plate. Put the foot on. So if you want to trim, leave the bottom a bit thicker. It's trimmable. You can trim a foot just like you usually do. Alright, so thanks for watching and see you next time.